Gentlemen, welcome back to the University of Smooth. I'm your host, Nixon the Dark, the internet's leading sex demographer. We cover sex from a lot of angles. I know that sounded a little naughty, didn't it? We talk to you all the time about our fundamental roadmap for the male protector algorithm: get jacked, learn game, convert your talent to clout. But every once in a while, we need to step back and ask ourselves, how did we get here? How did we find ourselves in the situation we're in where it's necessary to bring a message like this to the world? Not just the middle of the Midwest, but the far reaches, anywhere where there's a dick that's suffering. That's where we want our message to reach. So, how did we get here? Everything in life that we experience in terms of social institutions, market economies, culture, you name it, they are all downstream from the sexual marketplace. Up here, the natural equilibrium that dictates how sex, mating, procreation is established, everything flows from that. We are seeing a massive, massive shift that's maybe 50 years in the making, which has led to tons and tons and tons of social chaos and disorder. It's our view that the crumbling institutions that you see all around you, the delegitimized governments, the financial chaos that we're experiencing, and what we believe is soon to be escalating violence, all stems from imbalance in the force, the sex force, the ability to mate and create families. It all stems from that. It is all based on opportunity. So, our roadmap: get jacked, learn game, convert your talent to clout. Those cover the gamut, the wide array of male value. They all fall under those very broad categories. But the sexual marketplace is fluid in how opportunities create themselves. If you max out all of those things, then one thing you can be sure of is that you will do the most with the opportunities that you get. The situation we're in right now over here on this side is that opportunities have dried up. We're going to tell the story of online dating, not because we believe that online dating is exclusively the issue that's going on in our society, far from it, but it is perfectly symbolic and it encapsulates how this process drifted to where it is now. Let's say it started over here in the year 2000, give or take. For the first handful of years, maybe the first decade of online dating, that was something your friend did. That was something that this girl that you knew in class did. That was something that one of your coworkers did. Yeah, maybe you made a profile, but didn't actually join and you never messaged anybody. Then all of a sudden, around 2010, give or take, somewhere around the time that social media was starting to take off, not only was it no longer taboo, it was like normal. Some of you who lived through that period probably heard a joke similar to, like, how did you guys meet? Oh, we met the old fashioned way on the internet, on an app. Then you had this highly normalized period that we'll just say arbitrarily from 2010 to about 2020. Actual dates we're not that concerned with, but loose approximation. That was perhaps the heyday of online dating. That was the golden age. I know it's strange for something that's not even that old in terms of historic dimensions. During that period, if you did what you could on the roadmap, which is to say you dressed as well as you could, you got in the best possible shape you could, you maxed out what you could on your career, and you learned how to talk to a woman, then you had opportunities to go out, mix it up, get laid, meet women, build connections, maybe even, God forbid, start a family. Somewhere around 2020, that opportunity dried up. Something about the nature of female preference went all the way over to the highest possible end of the bell curve, which is to say, men who were two or perhaps three standard deviations to the right of the bell curve, which is to say, top tier guys. Those guys were and are doing fine. But anybody else in at least 90% of the male dating pool, suddenly were like, man, I am working really, really hard, and the quality of woman that I'm able to even get a text from has fallen off a cliff. I haven't done it in a while. I think I gave it up maybe a year ago, like at the very last, like I'm over this. And by the way, I was over it maybe a year before that, but still was, holding out a little hope. But like, it's like, holy cow, these are fucking dogs. These are every one of those awful, awful words that Donald Trump said about certain other ladies. And you're like, that chick won't even text you. And you're like, no fucking way. The work just got insane. How did that exactly happen? We're not entirely concerned, other than that, like, dude, at a certain point, once women are just getting flooded with text, you can kind of understand how they don't have time to respond to everybody. You can make an argument that female expectations subsequently went through the roof to the point where they're completely unsustainable. You won't get an argument from me. But having said that, if you believe that the solution to this problem is either for you to just man up some more, get more jacked and learn more game, or you want to tell women to lower their standards, neither of those are going to be satisfactory. They're not going to be satisfactory because they don't get at the heart of the inequality that you're dealing with. And this is all we're here to do, is to help you understand inequality. Those solutions, trying to get a woman to lower her standards or just telling a guy, you just got to learn more game, bro, those will not matter so long as opportunity doesn't exist. This is why we still advise that you stick with the male protector algorithm roadmap. Get jacked, learn game, convert your talent to clout. The reason we say that is because if you do have opportunity, it will come around here and there. Online dating is gone, but when you maximize these things, whatever opportunities do come your way, whether you're meeting somebody in public or you're meeting somebody through work or some other social event, you will need these things to maximize those opportunities. And if you really stick with them and shoot the moon, to some degree, you will create more opportunities. It's not a guarantee, and that we are not the man up version of learning game YouTube channel. We know that there are certain limitations to how much opportunity you can truly create for yourself on your own. But this is the best of a bad situation. It's our personal opinion that one of the reasons that you're seeing escalating violence and chaos in our society is that this is how the sexual marketplace corrects. We're going through a market correction that is going to wreak havoc all the way downstream from the sexual marketplace. Because if it doesn't, birth rates cratering the way they are, humanity cannot survive without a fucking legitimate replacement level birth rate. This is why this is actually a dire situation. You do not hear about it from politicians. I know, weirdly, Elon Musk is perhaps the most famous dude who's ever actually said out loud that birth rates are actually a really, really, really big issue, but it's still off the political agenda. Even if you were a big fan of Trump and are glad that he's in office and glad that like men may start to have a say again, that's possible. That may start to happen, but that is one tiny, tiny fraction of a baby step in terms of what might need to take place to restore that equilibrium. That's why we suspect what will end up doing it, whether we like it or not, is violence. That's also why we say stick with the roadmap, because get jacked, as we have said before, includes every form of violence that you need to be prepared to defend against. Defend against, not perpetrate. You need to be prepared for the fact that this is just going to happen. This chaos is going to come because opportunity is what must be restored. It's not me saying it. It's like this is this sort of male energy that's like starting to sort of work its way through the system. It's saying that like, if we have opportunity and we live or die by it, that's fine. If we don't have opportunity, we fight for it. That's the male spirit. That's starting to work its way through the system. You're going to see cracks here and there. You're going to see more and more of it. We don't know which way it's going to go, but this is how you understand the nature of opportunity and what you can do about it. All you really have is this roadmap. It may get you nowhere, but you will at least still, you're going to get there regardless, but you will at least have value that you can keep and that you may need in times of chaos or in times of opportunity. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and be prepared for anything because, dude, balance is going to come back to the force whether we like it or not, and it may be bloody. Take care.